Traditionally, when a WWE wrestler performs in their hometown, you'd expect him to receive universal love, but that isn't always the case. Throughout WWE history, fans have been known to turn on their hometown hero. Sometimes this occurs thanks to excellent heel work on the part of the hometown wrestler, but on occasion, the hometown hero is a full-blown babyface, yet the audience have no desire to cheer for their local star. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at 10 WWE wrestlers who were sadly booed in their hometown. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, Wrestlelamia Shorts. Number 10. John Cena, SummerSlam 2006. John Cena has always been a polarizing figure, and he was often met with a mixed response from fans. This mixed response for Cena was even the case when Cena performed in front of his hometown fans, and Cena's match with Edge at 2006 SummerSlam event was a great example of this. The event took place in Boston, Massachusetts, and Cena hailed from West Newbury, which was just 20 miles away. Cena was booed throughout the match, which was a sign at this point in the summer of 2006 that fans were getting tired of Cena's babyface persona. WWE clearly didn't expect this kind of reaction for Cena in Boston, but this would be the trend that was embedded into the next decade of Cena's career. Number 9. Jason Jordan, Raw 2017. In 2017, WWE decided to broadcast Raw live on Christmas Day. They hosted a live broadcast in Chicago, which was notoriously one of WWE's hottest markets, and the crowd were fantastic all night. The main event of the night saw Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan challenge the Bar for the Raw tag titles. But going into the match, Rollins and Jordan were babyfaces, and Jordan was from Tinley Park, which is a suburb of Chicago. Unfortunately, being a local hero did little to generate a positive reaction for Jordan, as he was heavily booed throughout the match. Jordan's angle involving being Kurt Angle's son and his awkward presence as a babyface wasn't working, and the people of Chicago were going to let WWE know that Jordan's gimmick wasn't for them. Number 8. Ronda Rousey, Survivor Series 2018. When WWE were forced to cancel their planned Becky Lynch vs Ronda Rousey match at Survivor Series 2018, fans were not happy. Due to an injury to Lynch, she was substituted in the Survivor Series matchup for Charlotte Flair, and instead of the crowd taking it out on Flair, they took all their frustrations out on Ronda Rousey. At this point in time, there was no clear indication that the fans had become sick of Rousey's act. In fact, she was immensely popular with the audience. And what was weird about the reaction to Rousey was that she was from Riverside, California, which is just around 50 miles away from where Survivor Series was taking place. The crowd would heckle Rousey throughout the match with chants of "You deserve it" as she was brutalized by a kendo stick. This crowd reaction was so severe that WWE were forced to turn Rousey heel shortly after, and it was rather insane that it was a hometown response that triggered this huge creative decision. Number 7. Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 37. WWE welcomed fans back to live shows for WrestleMania 37, and when the live fans saw Hulk Hogan dressed as a pirate during the first few moments of the show, they weren't pleased. Hogan resides in Clearwater, Florida, which lies southeast to where WrestleMania was taking place. Hogan was heavily booed during his opening promo, and the main reason for this is that fans were split on whether Hogan should have even been allowed on WWE television. Hogan's racist remarks were still fresh in people's heads, and a strong portion of the fanbase hadn't forgiven Hogan for his vulgar comments. During that infamous segment, Hogan shared the stage with Titus O'Neil, and O'Neil in a later interview on Busted Open Radio claimed that he was surprised that Hogan was booed in Tampa, Florida. It really caught me by surprise. I really didn't expect. I expected some boos, but I didn't expect it to be at that level. But to Hogan's credit, he took it in his stride and kept going. It was definitely different. Number 6. The Miz, TLC 2014. It was expected that The Miz would receive a positive response at the TLC pay-per-view in 2014, as the event was taking place in Cleveland, Ohio, and Miz was born in Palmer, Ohio, which is located on the southern edge of Cleveland. The Miz would team up with his stunt double Damien Sandow to take on the Usos, and the crowd decided to reject everything The Miz did. Mizdow was incredibly over in late 2014, and even Miz's hometown fans weren't interested in anything that the former champion had to offer. Number 5. Kurt Angle on Raw 1999. The Survivor Series 1999 saw the in-ring debut of Kurt Angle, but it was the next night on Raw where things truly started to take off for Angle. Angle would wrestle the Godfather in front of his hometown fans in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and virtually within seconds of Angle's music hitting, the fans were booing the Olympic gold medalist. During the match, Angle would exit the ring and cut a brief promo berating the fans for booing him. It was outstanding heel work from Angle. In the months following his negative experience performing in Pittsburgh, Angle would become one of the WWE's top stars, and within 12 months, he would become WWE Champion. Number 4. Sami Zayn, Raw 2019. Sami Zayn has shown time and time again that he has the ability to control the emotions of the crowd, and Zayn can even make a hometown crowd boo him. This was the case in 2019 when he appeared on Alexa Bliss's Moment of Bliss on an episode of Raw. Due to Raw taking place in Montreal, a positive response was expected, and Zayn received just that, as he received what was in all likelihood the biggest ovation of the entire evening. Zayn at this stage of his career was a full-blown heel, so he was going to have to turn the crowd against him, and he did that with exceptional heel work. Zayn would praise the city itself before stating that it was the people of Montreal that he couldn't stand. The fans instantly turned on him, and Zayn was now able to deliver his heel promo without being cheered or admired. Number 3. Brock Lesnar on SmackDown 2004. The January 22, 2004 edition of SmackDown took place in front of Brock Lesnar's hometown fans. The show emanated from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and although Lesnar was a heel at the time, it was fully expected that the fans would be thrilled to see him. However, when he came through the curtain, his hometown fans heckled him, and fans would even brought signs to the show that mocked the top guy on the blue brand. Lesnar would team with Matt Morgan and Rhino to take on John Cena and Chris Benoit, and this was likely a major factor in the crowd turning on Lesnar. Cena and Benoit were incredibly popular with fans, and it would have taken a miracle for WWE fans to turn against the two performers. It's worth noting that SmackDown was taped at this point in time, so if WWE wanted to manipulate the crowd response to Lesnar, this could have easily been achieved. However, the response was completely real, and WWE weren't forced to edit in the boos for the hometown champion. Number 2. Edge, SummerSlam 2004. SummerSlam 2004 featured a bizarre crowd in Toronto, Canada, as the crowd decided to heavily boo most of the babyfaces on the card. One of the babyfaces that Canadian fans decided to universally boo out of the building was hometown star Edge. Edge was reigning Intercontinental Champion, and he would collide with Batista and Chris Jericho in a triple threat match. The crowd couldn't stand the sight of Edge, and it was truly unbelievable sight to see Edge booed in this manner. The Canadian Jericho was met with cheers and chants, but it was just Edge who was singled out by the fans. One of the potential reasons why Edge was booed so excessively was because of his booking at the time. Edge's character as a babyface was flat, he had no fire, and he was completely generic. This could have been the fans' way of telling WWE that a change was needed, and Edge needed an immediate heel turn. And number 1, CM Punk Night of Champions 2010. As CM Punk is considered a hero in his hometown of Chicago, and Punk has received some of the largest crowd ovations of all time when performing in his home turf. However, at the 2010 Night of Champions event, Punk walked into Chicago as a heel, and WWE didn't want fans booing his opponent, that being the Big Show, so they had to think of a way of getting Punk booed. Punk would come down to the ring for his match to a thunderous ovation, and before the match started, he cut a promo in the middle of the ring and stated that he loved Chicago. Punk name-dropped all the things he loved about the city before stating that he despises the inhabitants of the city. Punk would then claim that the fans ruined his beautiful city, and he would even take a dig at the Chicago White Sox. It was Punk at his very best, and it was only a heel as good as Punk that would have been able to turn the Chicago crowd against him. There you have it, folks, 10 WWE wrestlers who were sadly booed in their own hometown. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.